Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Lindsie Chrisley scares Todd out of hiding with Queefs and Fluffers. Lindsie Chrisley managed to scare her father Todd out of hiding on social media with a discussion of Queefs and Fluffers. How exactly did a conversation between Lindsie and her father get to this point? Keep reading for the details. Lindsie and Todd Chrisley chat on FaceTime. Chrisley Knows Best fans felt their hearts warm when they realized Lindsie and Todd shared a screenshot of them chatting on FaceTime. This meant the relationship between the father and daughter had improved. Lindsie was the first to share a screenshot of the photo that her father Todd later reshared on his Instagram stories as well. Todd Chrisley breaking his Instagram silence to share this photo was a huge deal for fans. As TV show's Ace has previously reported, Todd has ghosted his fans since the trial. He surfaced briefly a few days ago, but that was just to wish his other daughter Savannah a happy birthday. Todd hasn't actually really posted anything since before the trial outside of that birthday tribute. So, resharing the FaceTime photo that Lindsie shared on her Instagram stories was a pretty big deal for fans. Many fans thought it was hilarious, as she basically scared her father out of hiding with Queefs and Fluffers. Talk of Queefs and Fluffers. Lindsie Chrisley's post revealed that her father was interested in knowing what she talked about on her podcast recently. More specifically, she talked about Queefs and Fluffers. These were two words her father Todd was unfamiliar with. Being two NSFW terms, Lindsie presumably defined these terms to her father. Then, she grabbed a screenshot of his face as he reacted to learning exactly what his daughter was talking about on her podcast. Horror and shock washed over Todd Chrisley's face as he gripped his hair and his head with his hand. His eyes were wide as his soul appeared to leave his body. Lindsie Chrisley had a huge open-mouthed smile on her face, as she was presumably laughing at her father's reaction to learning what these words meant. While Chrisley Knows Best fans found this interaction to be hilarious. They couldn't help but assume that Todd was not rushing to listen to Lindsie's podcasts after learning what she discussed on them. For months, Todd Chrisley had stayed silent, a ghost in the world that once couldn't stop talking about him. His social media accounts were deactivated, his podcasts vanished, and his once famous Southern charm had disappeared into the shadows. After everything, the trial, the prison time, the media storm, Todd had decided that hiding was easier than facing the noise. But if there was one person who could lure him out of hiding, it was his daughter, Lindsie Chrisley. Ever since Todd's quiet disappearance from the public eye, Lindsie had found a way to move forward. She'd built her own brand, balancing podcasting, motherhood, and a sense of humor that often surprised her fans. Still, deep down, she missed the complicated man who'd once been at the center of her world. Todd had always been a force, loud, dramatic, and opinionated. To see him shrink into silence didn't sit right with her. One fall afternoon, Lindsie decided she'd had enough. "Daddy can't just hide forever," she told her friend over coffee. "If he won't come out, I'll make him come out." Her friend raised a brow. "You mean literally?" Lindsie smirked. "Literally." And that's how the Great Chrisley Scare was born. The plan started innocently, a little prank to jolt her father out of his cave. Lindsie knew Todd was staying in his lake house in Tennessee, completely off-grid except for a landline he used to call Savannah once a week. He hadn't even seen the world's reaction to his release. No interviews, no pictures, no public statements. Classic Todd, Lindsie muttered as she packed her overnight bag. He always has to control the narrative. Well, not this time. She drove up to the property at dusk. The house sat on a hill surrounded by oak trees, the lake shimmering under a pink-orange sky. Todd's truck was parked out front, but the blinds were closed tight. Lindsie grinned mischievously as she set her phone to record. "All right, Daddy, let's see if the master of Southern drama can handle a little scare." She slipped around to the back porch, pulling a white sheet from her bag, her makeshift ghost costume. The plan was simple. Wait until he came outside to take the trash out, he always did it at night. Then jump out and give him the fright of his life. As she crouched in the dark, Lindsie couldn't help but giggle. The idea of scaring Todd Chrisley, the man who'd pranked everyone else for years, was delicious. But then, something unexpected happened. From inside the house came a faint sound, a piano. Todd was playing. Lindsie froze, the notes soft but unmistakable. She hadn't heard him play in years. He used to sit at that piano when he was stressed, fingers finding calm in the music. It tugged at her heart just for a moment, until she reminded herself why she was there. The back door creaked open. "Showtime." She darted forward, waving her arms and letting out a ghostly moan. "Wha? Todd Chrisley." The spirits of your unpaid taxes have come to haunt you. Todd screamed. And not just any scream, a full, high-pitched Southern belle in distress kind of scream. His trash bag flew into the air, spilling coffee pods, paper towels, and what looked like 3 empty bottles of hairspray. "Lord have mercy," he shouted, clutching his chest. "Who sent you? Jesus, is that you?" Lindsie doubled over laughing, pulling off the sheet. "Daddy, it's me." Todd squinted in disbelief,
She nodded.
tears
"Lindsie."
streaming from laughter. "You should have seen your face." Todd pointed an accusatory finger at her. "You nearly gave me a coronary, child. You think this is funny?" Lindsie couldn't stop giggling. "Oh, it's hilarious. You've been hiding from the world for months. I figured a ghost might be the only thing to scare you back to life." Todd glared for a second before his lips twitched. The corners of his mouth lifted. Then he started laughing too, that familiar, booming Chrisley laugh that filled the whole backyard. An hour later, they sat on the porch with coffee mugs in hand, wrapped in blankets against the chilly night. Todd sighed, staring at the lake. "You know, I wasn't hiding from y'all. I was just tired. Of the noise. Of the judgment. Of being a headline." Lindsie looked at him softly. "Daddy, you don't have to explain. But the thing is, when you disappear, you leave the rest of us to clean up the mess. People make up stories. Savannah's exhausted. Chase is lost. And me. I just wanted my dad back, ghost or not." Todd set his mug down, his eyes glistening. "I didn't think you still wanted anything to do with me after all that's happened." She nudged him. "You're my dad. Of course I do. I just needed to remind you that you're still alive. And still dramatic as ever." He chuckled, shaking his head. "You always were my most stubborn child. I learned from the best," she teased. They sat in comfortable silence for a while, listening to the crickets. Then, as if on cue, Todd turned to her with a gleam in his eye. "You realize payback's coming, right?" Lindsie grinned. "Oh, I'm counting on it." By the next morning, Todd had done something no one expected. He reactivated his Instagram account. His first post was a photo of him and Lindsie on the porch, both smiling wide. The caption read, "Turns out you can't hide from family, especially when your daughter's got a ghost costume and a wicked sense of humor. Guess who's back, y'all? Ghost #Chrisley always." Within minutes, the internet exploded. Fans flooded the comments. "Welcome back, Todd. We missed that Chrisley humor. Lindsie, you're a legend for this." Lindsie reposted it with her own caption. "Sometimes you have to scare your daddy out of hiding. Love you at Todd Chrisley Official." And just like that, the Chrisley charm returned to the world. Not through a press statement or a polished PR move, but through laughter, a ghost prank, and a daughter's love. For Todd Chrisley, it was more than just a return to social media. It was a reminder that family, no matter how messy, was still his home. And for Lindsie, it was proof that even after everything, her dad could still be scared and still be loved. As she left the lake house that afternoon, she shouted from her car window, "Love you, Daddy. Don't hide too long next time." Todd waved, smiling. "Next time, sweetheart, I'll be the one doing the scaring."